Hey, what's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we are talking with Brett and Candace Saberhagen with SabesWings, a cancer financial toxicity organization.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for coming in. I practiced that.
Yeah, you'd have
It's
to.
a tongue twister.
We had a board member that had a tough time, Riker Young, saying medical. He said, I can't even say medical financial toxicity. How are people going to know what that means?
Well, Brett, I like the cowboy hat.
Thank you.
I wasn't
Yes.
sure what you were going to wear today.
Yeah.
You're kind of a chameleon. You kind of have different attire every time I see you.
It really depends on what's going on, and we're going to get into talking about a little bit of the team roping that we have going on in June. So that I kind of thought that the pearl snaps with
like
the
it.
cowboy hat and the cowboy boots would be appropriate for today.
I won't say where the hat came from. Okay.
Yes, the wife and I share this hat, so yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Candace,
let
let
it
it out. Candace, let it out. All
Yeah,
right.
She does look better in the cowboy hats than I do, but yeah.
You look good.
Yeah, so.
Well, one of our sponsors is Premier Ag, so that's where I get my hats.
Awesome.
Custom shaped, so love it.
Yours is
I love yours.
outstanding.
Perfect,
So
yeah.
maybe we'll have to go and check them out
Yeah.
over there and get my own, so we don't have to share. Is that what it is?
We'll still share.
Okay,
Well, there you go.
What's mine is yours, and yours is mine.
that's pretty much it.
I don't know if you could fit in her shirt though.
No, Actually, we might have to have like a little dress up event. We have at our gala. We've been doing things, and this year it's going to be a rodeo theme for our gala this year. So, October
In October.
10th.
It's a Nashville theme.
It's a Nashville theme.
Nashville theme. So it's a little bit different than what I think rodeo.
So I'm going to be getting used to wearing this stuff. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to get decked out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Brett, so tell me about yourself. So you were a 1985 world champion MVP with the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
Correct. So tell me about that path.
Right place, right time. I was 21 years old at the time, so I came up in 1984, and I was hoping to make the AAA team. I was a non-roster player in spring training. Right place, right time. Some of the veteran guys were hurt, and they called me into the office, and was hoping the AAA was going to be on the map, not going back to AA, which I finished up the year before. He said, we're going to take you with us to Kansas City. We're going to put you in the pen and start off the season. And first week in the big leagues, I was 19 years old, so I turned 20 April 11th, and made the playoffs that year, lost to Detroit Tigers, who ended up winning the World Series in 1984. Fast forward the next year, come out guns blazing, pun intended. And then, World Series, Cy Young, World Series MVP, and really took off from there. But I felt very fortunate to have put a big league uniform on, for one day, let alone my whole career that I had, 18 years of being in the major leagues. But I was giving myself about 4 years, and if I wasn't close to making the big leagues, I was gonna I wanted to go and be a firefighter if that baseball thing didn't work out. And then once I got to the big leagues, I was hoping to get about 4 years in, and like I said, 18 years later. Some people call it a 16-year career because 2 of those years I was completely out because of shoulder surgery. So I missed all of 2000, and then I missed all of 1996. So yeah, I just feel very blessed, very fortunate. But I truly believe God has put me on this planet to do more than just throw a baseball. I think He gave me that platform to do what we're doing now, and that's with SabesWings and helping these families that are going through cancer and the medical financial toxicity, skipping treatments, not doing their treatments because they don't want to cause any more debt than what they have, and they just can't afford their bills.
And Candace, so the way that you guys met is pretty interesting. But prior to that, you had some clinics.
I did.
So tell me about your past before you guys met.
Sure. So regenerative medicine. But back when
Stem cell, right?
Stem cell therapy. Yeah, back when I was doing it, and still to this day, we were doing what's called autologous derived. So it's from you to you. So it was being pulled right out of your own body and then centrifuged in. And we did eventually go to more of an amniotic source afterwards, but you can't do anything to those cells in the United States called extrapolating those cells. You can't add anything to them. And so we came up with doing what we could actually offer the body to make it more receptive to the insertion of those cells. All orthopedic applications, so hips, knees, toes, shoulders, everything that, would be a joint that had any kind of degeneration in it. But we implemented hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And then we formulated our own IV vitamin formularies to help the body. We would do blood testing to see what levels of deficiency actually existed in the body. And then we would code our formulas to what the body was needing at that time, so it would be more receptive to the stem cell therapy. So collectively, these facilities that I had in Colorado and Arizona and Dallas incorporated all three of those therapies together, and then we just started to work from there. We had a really great relationship with the NFL alumni, NFLPA, active NFL players, hockey, NHL. I had a couple of board members from the NHL who were amazing and instrumental, and obviously lack of dentures or lack of teeth as well, which was fun to poke fun at them. And that brought me to one day I was asked if I would do a sponsorship for CASA in Chicago. And somebody had been trying to put you and I together before that. And that's where I met Brett. So
Was it love at first sight?
You know what? We didn't meet at that event. We met the morning after the event. We were both flying back with our mutual friend who was trying to put us together for a period of time. And so we were flying back on his plane. I was going to Kansas City. She was going back to Denver with them. And we were sitting in the lobby, and first time chatting was when they came down and said that we're not leaving for about another hour. So we started talking in the lobby, and we ended up getting on the plane and sitting next to each other on the plane and talked the whole entire time. And so I would say I was, like a little puppy. It was beautiful, right from the get-go.
Actually, it was funny. I traveled a lot. He traveled a lot. So we went to load up in the van to go to the airport, and he picked up my literally backpack, because I was gone for 2 days, and he said, "Is there anything else around here? Where's the rest of your luggage?" And I said, "No, that's it. I'm more low maintenance than you think." And then he loaded in 3 enormous suitcases.
Well, one of them were my golf clubs, of course.
Oh yeah, of course he has to say that, but the other 2 were gigantic, and you were gone also for only like less than 4 days too. So
That's funny, because it's almost like the men are like that.
Yeah. Well, and now what's the story?
now we're both high maintenance.
We're on the road so much, doing stuff for SabesWings. We've just been off a multiple event stuff, and we still got about 3 more events coming up in the next 2.5 weeks. So we're packing suitcases left and right. And the one that we actually enjoyed, we went to Christmas in Bozeman and spent some time with one of our boys, and then we flew to Cabo. So we went from -8 degrees to 75 degrees. So we had to really pack for both temperatures. So that made it interesting with all the bags we took.
We have to diversify our luggage.
So Candace, I mean, stem cell and that kind of therapy that you just mentioned, I mean, that's kind of huge, but it's something like you mentioned that it's, not necessarily administered, or the offer isn't in the United States.
Correct.
So like stem cells.
It's cash pay. So it's not, insurance doesn't cover it. Some insurance companies will actually cover PRP, platelet-rich plasma. But as far as mesenchymal stem cells, that is something that's outside the scope of what people think is the best fit for therapy. However, if you're looking at it from an orthopedic application, you almost would put it into the exhaustive area where you would have to exhaust that before you went on to a surgical procedure. Right now, we don't have that, and I haven't been in the field for quite some time. It's been at least 7 years. I'll still consult and do some other things with the therapies, but you have pain management. So if you go in and you have a knee or a hip or even your spine, in my case, I had injections for my spine early on. If you have one of those injuries, the first thing that your orthopedic surgeon is going to recommend is for you to go and do physical therapy. And then you're going to introduce a cortisone injection after that. And then you skip right to surgery after the pain pills and everything else. There's nothing in the middle, in the mediary, that says what can actually solve the problem, because it's really what's lacking. So you're lacking the cartilage, or you're lacking the tissue within the spine, cartilage within all of your joints. And once that's gone, it's an avascular area. It doesn't recreate a blood supply. And so you can't recreate that through physical therapy. And cortisone injections actually depreciate it even more. The one thing that does is stem cells. So mesenchymal stem cells will read what's going on within the body, and look at, I used to explain it as the existing cells in that area are the drill surgeons. They're lethargic and lazy, but they can tell you what to do. The new cells that come into that area are going to follow what that is through cell signaling, and then replicate what they're supposed to do from there. And in that replication, you can rebuild some of the cartilage or rebuild some of the tissue, which we actually proved in peer-reviewed publications. And we were able to write some of those studies so that we have that foundation for what the therapy should really be used for, either in conjunction to a surgery, which is happening quite a bit, especially in spine surgery, or independent without having a surgical procedure put into it. So you're trying to you're trying to eliminate the surgical procedure, basically. In spine, it's highly important, because I haven't met an individual who went in for a disc replacement or any type of invasive procedure where 2 years later they didn't have some level above or below also starting to falter, which is called the domino effect. So if you have an L5, L4 issue going on and you go in and you fix it, you put a disc replacement or you do something, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have an L3 or an L2 also start to depreciate. And that's the problem. We want to build it all up collectively together. So you have this lively, active lifestyle that you want to portray moving on as you age. And look, we're not getting any younger. Gravity is our downfall. So anytime your spine is hurting, it's all being pulled down. And over time, that causes more of an issue. So that's what we're trying to eliminate.
Brett, being in a long career that you had in baseball, were you a recipient of anything like that?
Once we met, I had some stuff done, and the hyperbaric chamber was a little claustrophobic for me. So.
It was.
Well, that's kind of huge in the sports world.
Yeah, you can't go into a stadium and not seeing that. It's amazing. I wish that when I was playing, they had some of the medical treatments and some of the medical procedures, non-invasive stuff. They have treadmills that are no gravity at all, so you're not pounding on them. They have treadmills in the water, in their it's like a pool size with a treadmill, and then you're walking on them. You've probably seen them with horses and that, putting the horses in the water and then walking on the treadmill in the water, so you're not putting all that weight on you. It's amazing. They have just about everything that you could possibly imagine for these athletes now, and let alone nutritionists and a chef that'll cook for you. Once you get there, and a lot of these guys are getting there for a 7 o'clock game at about 11 o'clock during the morning before the night game that night. So
we were just talking about that during our coffee talk this morning. I asked Brett if he missed baseball, opening day yesterday, and I said, "Do you miss it?" I can't remember your answer. I think you said something to the fact that my body couldn't handle it anymore.
Just physically, after 3 surgeries on my shoulder, I just physically couldn't do it anymore. So it made it easy for me to step away from the game, rather than somebody saying you're not good enough to do it anymore. That would have been a little.
So you
tougher.
left on your own.
I left because it just physically couldn't do it. And again, talking about testosterone. Not what am I?
Stem cells.
No. Cortisone shots. I can't even count them on my hands and toes. It was a lot of cortisone just to get through some of the pain and
eating
keep out
prednisone like it was candy.
Yeah, I did do that.
And both of those are so bad for your body.
Really?
Yeah. They talk about the cortisone shots. It's a temporary relief, but it always comes back, but it's so bad for it just kills and deteriorates your joints.
It
does.
does. But
Eats it right away.
You do what you can to be out there with your teammates, and felt like I was letting them down when I wasn't out there. So I wanted to be out there. I felt, and again, I truly thought that even me at 70% or 60% was better than some of the guys that were going out there and pitching. So I just had confidence in myself to get the job done no matter what I was feeling. So
Well, you look at the game back when you played, and you look at the game now, and these kids, and they're getting built. I mean, what is the pitcher with the Dodgers? $1 billion. I mean, ridiculous amounts of money.
they are getting paid very well, and
For shorter playing time.
yeah, it sounds like there is a possibility of a strike coming up, just a lockout or a strike or a walkout or something.
You still follow baseball pretty good?
Yes and no. I love it, so I had we had some friends over for dinner last night. I started watching the Yankees and Giants for opening day. It was the only game. It was a Netflix kind of special. So watched that and then just turned off the volume and had it on in the background. But yeah, I'm excited about opening day and the teams that I follow and that I cheer for. So everybody asks, it's like, are you a Royals fan still? And it's like, yeah, I like the Royals, but my childhood team was the Cubs. So I grew up in Chicago. My grandfather took me to my first big league game and it was at Wrigley. And so, we just were in spring training and took, as one of the auction items, we took about 40 people to a Cubs Brewers game the other day and really enjoyed that and saw Sloan Park for the first time. So it's amazing, these minor league facilities and these spring training facilities that they have. And again, you got to kind of gear them towards the big leaguers because they're spending a month and a half, 2 months in these sites, and they need to have all the stuff to get ready for the upcoming season. So
It was also 106
cool.
degrees.
It was a little warm. Yes, it was. Yes, it
Makes
was.
it difficult
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. Fortunately, we were in the shade. So.
Yeah, for part of it, but we did tour the facility. It was beautiful. It's very beautiful. But I was sweating in areas that shouldn't see so.
So Brett, so you guys met on the plane, and prior to, and then this relationship blossomed. Did you have your nonprofit? I think it was a different name, not
was.
SabesWings, but it was something else prior to that. When did you start that?
So in 2004, I started the Brett Saberhagen Make a Difference Foundation, and that was geared towards youth. It was geared towards juvenile diabetes, autism, taking inner city kids to baseball games, to building some baseball fields. And after 2008, with the economy going crappy, I just shut down. It's tough enough for me and for Candace to ask for funding for our nonprofit, but it was really tough for me to go to people that were losing a lot of money and didn't have the money in 2008 and ask for help for the nonprofit. And I always say that we have the locomotive, and we need the village, the people out there, to really get the locomotive down the train tracks. So I just didn't want to go down that route, and I took a step back. I would still do some stuff. If you send in baseball cards or something for me to sign, as long as you made a donation, I still do that and sign it and send it back. But it wasn't doing a whole lot. So that's when Candace, her third diagnosis of breast cancer came about. The treatments didn't work, so we had to do alternative, which was costing about $22,000 a month, which fortunately we were able to cover. She while she's going through her treatments and feeling like crap, she said, I have an idea. I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I would like to help families that are going through cancer, and it doesn't matter what type of cancer it is. If you're struggling and you're in debt and you have bills that are stacking up, that's what SabesWings does. We come in and try to alleviate as much debt as possible. It's already tough enough when you have the cancer diagnosis and the family hears that, and it's, are you going to live or are you going to die? I think that's the first thing that comes in everybody's mind. And then it's like, okay, what do we got to do? What's the treatments? We got to get it done quickly. And then some of the treatments aren't going to work. It's the normal chemo and radiation doesn't work for everybody. So you have to do sometimes alternative stuff. Sometimes it's the breadwinner that can't work. And maybe they're self-employed. And if they're not at their job, they're not making money. So they're not paying their bills. So we've helped out people in 23 states so far, but our main hub where we help probably the most is right here in San Luis Obispo County. This is where we have our big gala each year. And we help them one at a time, one family at a time. So if you go to sabeswings.org, you can learn more about us, more about the events coming up that we have.
I think that's actually the beautiful part, is that we originated right here in Paso Robles, and that we get to take Paso Robles everywhere nationwide.
And show other people from around the country, Paso Robles. We tell them it's a great place to visit. You don't really want to live here.
Yeah.
I just think that speaks volumes for it too, to make sure that we build a firm foundation here. And pretty much once a month I get an emergent call from UCLA or French Dignity saying I have a patient who cannot afford their chemo treatment and they're not going to treat them unless we have this paid. And sometimes it's $1,700, sometimes it's $6,000. The other call that I get quite a bit here locally are patients who are not, insurance is not going to cover their PET scan. So the doctor is telling them, amazing doctor, Dr. Brian DiCarlo out of UCLA, this happens quite a bit, will tell the insurance company, this is a necessity, I need to know where this patient is at, and I want a PET scan. The insurance company dictates really the algorithm and will come back and say, we're not going to pay for a PET scan, but we'll go ahead and do a CT scan. And he'll say, no, I need to go to a peer-to-peer. So he gets on the phone with the insurance company, a doctor who's provided by the insurance company, who doesn't know the patient, has never met the patient, and has never seen the patient. So no hands-on whatsoever, versus the doctor who knows the patient well, sees them probably weekly, and insurance company 9 times out of 10 will decline his request for a PET scan. And then we get the phone call that says, this is a $2,800 scan. Can you guys please cover it? We need just to see where the patient is at right now. So my biggest question is, why is the insurance company dictating what the patient does when it's the patient's illness? Who's paid into that insurance to have it?
Or what the patient needs.
Or what the patient and the doctor need collectively. And so with that, we started an initiative called the Stacy Strong Initiative.
So did that get, because I know the last time we talked, this was going to Congress. This was, you guys are working their way up the ladder.
Yeah, so we just actually contracted with Katie Wiles, who is Susie Wiles' daughter, Susie Wiles being the chief of staff for the current administration. Katie is going to take this in the next 6 months exactly where it needs to be, right in front of, obviously, the President of the United States, Secretary Kennedy, and we have the most amount of faith in her to make sure that this passes. Now, when I wrote the bill, I had 8 huge bullet points on there, 2 of which were taking on the biggest players in the room, insurance companies and big pharma. I don't know that all of that will pass. I don't know that we have the strength or the financial incentive to really have some of the bullet points go through. But for Brett and I, it was really to leave a legacy of, let's bring notoriety to what's going on. This is an epidemic that's happening. We didn't realize the mass amounts of individuals who were suffering or choosing not to treat because of the financial deficit. And so let's go out there and try to make some change happen, so that if anything, maybe we could put SabesWings to rest and say, you don't need to worry about that anymore. I don't know on what level that's going to occur, but I know that we're not going to give
Wouldn't
up.
that be wonderful? Where
Yeah.
you didn't have to have SabesWings
Yeah.
to where
That's right.
these patients can get the treatment that they need, and you don't have the restrictions by the insurances.
Yep.
That's our ultimate goal,
Yeah.
and I think what's going to happen is not going to just be geared towards cancer patients. It'll be geared towards
All medical.
in general. So we don't want to leave out anybody that is struggling to get medical help or paying way too much in insurance, and the insurance company's not covering things. And there's a lot of money in the United States, and it's the people are patting their pockets, and the people that really need the help and with the medical stuff around the country. I mean, pharmaceutical is going crazy. So we're going to try to make a big impact and put a big helping out there for people around the country. So that's our main goal. Again, it was geared towards cancer when we first started, but now it's going to be geared towards a multitude of things out there. Is that correct?
Well, you look at cancer. I mean, cancer doesn't have any discretion of who and what. I mean, you look at Steve Jobs. You look at Toby Keith, which is Toby Keith was one of your friends, and part of SabesWings somehow, I believe. Yeah. But I mean, somebody that has probably deep pocketbooks, and you look at the ultimate result in the end.
Cancer does not discriminate, and that's the saddest part of it. And there's so much research, time, effort, resource. It kind of makes you wonder. We're a very intelligent race. We probably have answers to questions out there that we've been long overdue wanting. And so is it just a money game?
Yeah.
It's one of those things to where, like what you just mentioned about the insurance, about not doing what the doctor's requesting. Here you got a patient that has insurance, and it may be very well good insurance that they're denying this request.
Yeah.
And so then they have to, like yourself, Stacy's, her last name isn't strong, but you guys searched out an alternative method that you had to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you guys had the means. Stacy did not, so she had to,
advocate for
on
yourself.
top of going through this, her and her family had to figure out how to pay for it.
Yeah. Can you imagine the stress that causes a patient too? You're just really trying to keep your loved one alive, and then you have the complication of finances where you're not going to be able to afford anything. I think integrative and traditional care should be merged. I think that it should all be under one umbrella. I think there are some integrative providers who take advantage of the situation. So we've actually changed some of our application process for integrative care. And in that, the providers have to showcase 2 peer-reviewed publications that show efficacy, that show that, and done in the United States for that certain cancer. Because we all have a patient come through and say, I'm seeing this naturopath in Idaho, and my bill's going to be $30,000, and this is a protocol that's used in Russia, and it's only been in circulation for 5 years. Well, that's not showing us any proof that it's actually working, and so we feel like some of those patients are being taken advantage.
Yeah, there are some patients out there that will do anything. They hear something that's like, well, I'm going to do whatever I can and whatever it costs. So you have these people coming in and taking advantage of the individual because they want to stay alive, and that's just not right.
And it just makes you upset, and the evilness of, I mean, how could somebody do that?
Yeah.
How can you take advantage of somebody that's already in this vulnerable state, just wanting to do whatever they can? I mean, at that point it's like, I'll do whatever, I'll eat this dirt if that's
exactly.
You say so.
Right.
Also, being in the field and seeing some of the charges. So we SabesWings pays directly to the bill, so we don't pay the patient. We want to make sure that the bill is taken care of, so we know that our donor funds are being organized appropriately, so that it's not going to the patient and then maybe they go out and buy a brand new big screen TV. We want to eliminate that. Not to say that our patients would do that, but we're not going to allow them. So we see some of the bills, and I've seen IV vitamin bills that are just extraordinarily high, and I know exactly what the cost is. And so for me, I know that the patient's being taken advantage of. I know that vitamin C, high impact vitamin C, the formula should be $43 total, but you're paying $500. Why? Or hyperbaric oxygen therapy, I know exactly what it runs, and you can probably get away with charging $60. There's a place in Oregon that's charging $500. It's a money game.
Candace, and I'm going to jump around a little bit, but what do you think the new administration now, with you got RFK Jr., which is almost 80 years old.
Yep. Doesn't look it though.
Looks like he's 40.
Yep.
Advocating for nutrition, advocating for changing the American food pyramid.
Yep.
And the administration, you have Trump RX, which just launched a few weeks back, I believe.
Yep.
So do you see a change coming in this whole preventative versus?
I do.
I think you throw Dr. Oz into that as well, because Dr. Oz says a lot of things that we are fighting for. I mean, it's. So
I see the transition, and I hope it sticks. We are in unfortunately a divided country right now. But if you look at all of these issues realistically, why would we be putting red dye number 40 in our bodies if we knew that it caused cancer? Why is it allowed to be put in our food? Or yellow dye number 5? I've been allergic to that since I was a baby. I
no
could not
Twinkies
have a
for you.
Twinkie or Mountain Dew my entire life, and just wanted that because all my friends had Twinkies and Mountain Dew. I have to think about that realistically, and if everybody did, they'd understand that this is for the betterment of our country and our health. And at the end of the day, what we consume is really what we become. I don't know how many grandmothers have told you that. What you eat is what you are. Well, if you're going to eat all processed foods, you're going to become a product of processed foods, which actually equates to cancer and diabetes and heart disease. And those are the 3 leading killers in our country right now, heart disease being number 1. If we don't pay attention to what we're putting in our body and look at the obesity rate in general across the United States versus other countries, we're going to have an eye-opening epidemic that's going to be far worse than cancer.
You look at the nutrition change. Back in the 60s and 70s, you got sugar, started coming into everything.
Yeah.
Sugar was added. I mean, look at the cereals, the kids'
Yep.
cereals. I ate it. You probably ate it as well. All it is a round piece of sugar, which was
Frosted
great, by
Flakes.
the way.
Yeah, my
But,
favorite.
Yeah, but you look at the nutritional values of processed foods. Drive-throughs started really, popping up everywhere. These quick, fast, processed burgers that they're probably not even real meat in there. And then you have this transition in, I want to say COVID kind of really changed the mindset, the vaccination, and all that stuff. And it really changed the mindset of people that now are seeking alternative, they're doing the research and realizing that all these years of eating your processed foods, is it organic? Is it meats? Is meat really bad for you? It's really not. I mean, you look back to the time of man, they ate, it was a carnivore style.
Yep.
But yet when you go cancer, they, like you mentioned in the past, oh, just eat whatever you want, but in moderation. Okay, great. I'll eat only a quarter of the ice cream bowl.
Well, you could even break down COVID even more. If you put a light on COVID, who were the individuals who were at the highest risk? Those who had comorbidities super high, excessive obesity, diabetic, heart disease, asthma, all of the many of which we caused ourselves. Asthma might be more environmental, but if you're morbidly obese, it's because of what you're eating. And so all of that was highlighted during COVID, and I think that's where that transition came from, was, hey, we need to take better care of ourselves. Sadly, we lost Brett's mom during COVID due to COVID. But what did she have? She was morbidly obese. She was diabetic. She did not vaccinate, which, say what you will about it, at the end, when she was on her deathbed, she actually said, I would have done the vaccination. We did one, but I don't think I would ever do another one. And we had to. We were forced into it because I was immunocompromised. And so they wouldn't let me go anywhere. They wouldn't let me do anything unless I did it. I felt like pushed right into that. In her case, though, she was so sick and she just was never going to get better. She was never going to get better for it. Ideal case to look at why. Well, it came from her diet. There were so many times when she would go over to McDonald's, get a McDonald's whatever, come back home, eat it, and that was her daily nutrition for the day. If you're relying on that wholeheartedly, you're never going to be a beacon of health.
Gosh. Candace, we could talk about this all day long.
Yeah.
I love deep diving into nutrition and how it affects the body, but let's talk a little bit more about SabesWings. So SabesWings, you guys, we first met you prior to the Stacy Strong golf tournament, which, at that time I was a little apprehensive to talk about cancer because it's such a subject that people, I feel, is really uncomfortable talking about it. You don't have it, but yet you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And so tell me how the transition from SabesWings has been in the last couple of years to where you guys are at today.
Overwhelming.
We go nonstop, but this last year was our 6th year, so we've come a long way in a 6-year period of time. Toby, as we were talking about, Toby Keith, dear friend, he was our 2nd year lifetime recipient, and we did a billboard here locally, and our request went up 300% from that particular. I think I had a lot to do with the billboard, but with him giving us a lot more recognition of what we were doing. So fast forward to where we're at now. Our gala is October 10th at Rava. It's going to be a Nashville theme this year. We'll have some amazing things going on there. And then Sunday is the golf event at Hunter Ranch. And we also do now a fashion show at Hunter Ranch along with a mixology class while the golfers are going out there. So it's a fun weekend. If you need more information about that particular event, go to our website under events at sabeswings.org and become a sponsor, get tickets, come on out, support us.
This is an event that Paso Robles is not going to want to miss. We just signed a major headliner. I'm not going to release that just yet, but it's
You're not
going
going
to
to release it at
A
all.
speaker or a musician?
musician.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be the biggest Paso's ever seen.
Wow.
Anyways, it'll be fun. We're going to have a good time, but we're in there to raise money. And so that's what we want. We don't want to let anybody know who's going to be there because we don't want people coming just to see somebody. We want people coming in because they want to give back. Yeah. So that's our goal, is to raise more money than what we have in the past years, and we always need those residual income as well for our recipients. So another way to give back, it's pretty simple. Our 1985 campaign for $19.85 a month, you can help us, and that's also on our website. It's created after the 1985 World Series. Candace came up with this, and it's less than a pizza.
Well, so Brett, I want to touch on that real quick because
Yeah.
the last time you guys were in,
Yeah.
literally you had started it that week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how has the progression been in almost 2 years?
Go ahead.
So it can always be better, but I'm really appreciative of what we do have. We're looking to reach 5,000 monthly. 5,000 monthly, if you put that into perspective, it's almost $99,000 a month, which would give us a sustainability that we needed from month to month to help so many more people. In general, we're probably receiving 150,000 per month in requests. And if we were able to allow all of those funds to go out, we would be destitute. So we have to really audit every single application, make sure that what we're giving them is going to be like a triage service of what the biggest necessity is for that patient. So no, we're not allowed to give out 150,000 per month. Do we want to? Absolutely. Would the 1985 campaign help if we were at that 5,000 marker? 100%. Right now, we're probably seeking we probably receive anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 per month in revenue from the 1985. It could be much greater, but we'll never give up on it.
Yeah, that's going to be a staple in SabesWings forever. So yeah, just if you want to help, and it's a simple way, is just join up monthly for 1985. But we and again, talking about SabesWings and events, we've got a cool one coming up, and I don't know if you want to get into that.
Yeah, may as well.
Right
Let's talk about that.
So John Tracy and Michelle at their ranch, San Marcos Road, June 5th and 6th. We're going to have team roping and breakaway girls, and it's going to be an event that we're not really accustomed to doing, but what's great about it is the collaboration.
They are
Used to it. So everything that's happening inside the arena is basically they're taking care of. The entries, the people that are doing it, the cattle, all of that stuff, everything outside the arena, such as the dinner on Saturday night right across the road at San Marcos Ranch, the music entertainment that night, the music and DJ that will be at the arena, the restrooms, the food and beverage. We have a pretty cool thing. It's the VIP Founders Corral, which is right where they take off. You can actually almost reach over and touch the horses, and you're right there at the starting. What is that called? See, I don't even know where they start off.
The chutes?
The chutes,
okay.
Yes. So you'll be right at the chutes. You'll have food and beverage there, all taken care of. But if you're a certain sponsor level, you can have some people come in and enjoy that on Friday and Saturday, which I thought is pretty cool. But we'll have a lot of stuff going on, and the purse is we're giving back 80%.
Massive.
Right.
Massive, Brett. I mean,
So-
these are big payouts.
So that's what John wanted to establish. He wanted to get the best of the best from around the country. He's looking at from Oklahoma all the way to here, having team ropers come in here and get after it. And the reason why he's able to do that with that big purse is because he's not charging anything. He's also donating the saddles and the buckles. So when I say charge anything, it's nothing's going into his pockets.
Yeah.
So basically, we've got to pay for the cattle that's going to be there and maybe a couple other minor things. So the way he's looking at it is he's going to be able to give back 80% of the entry fees for prizes. So which is amazing, paying so many places. So it's
Well, you guys are paying down 5, 6, but I mean, you're team roping first place is, I mean, $15,000.
Yeah.
You know, your breakaway. I mean, it's going to be a big draw.
Well, we're looking forward to that. And again, everything that we do, we want to have it top notch. So we didn't want to just come out of the gate and just throw something together that wasn't going to be top notch. And then people go, well, you know, it was all right. We want people to come out that first year and go, wow,
wanna
this is
come back.
pretty
Absolutely.
amazing. And then it's just going to get better each year. Kind of like what we've done with our gala. Each year we've kind of brought in new things and new entertainment and different things going on. We have a fashion show. It was the second year with the fashion show at the golf event.
I can only imagine what the fashion show looks like.
We had a flash mob last year, which she
And that
did
was pretty cool, just to highlight, just to get the crowd very motivated.
for the
So it was
cancer
and
recipients.
that's how we welcomed in our cancer patients into the
Cancer
audience
warriors,
at the
yeah.
gala. And so the flash mob went, and then there was a red carpet going right down the middle of Rava that introduced all of the patients. And our sons, who were both on the board, got very excited about it and were announcing those patients. And it just changed the momentum of the night. And I think it was the best event yet. So
Well, I think also too, I mean, Chad also has a little bit of history in where you guys are
yeah.
what you guys are trying to do.
Yeah, Chad Rava has been, and Lauren have been instrumental in everything that we do. They're incredibly philanthropic for this community in general, but since Chad went through cancer twice himself, it just really hit home for him. And so they do quite a bit for different organizations, but we feel very blessed to have them right there with us, kind of working side by side all the time.
And just seeing one of our dear friends, Shannon D'Aquesto, just passed just recently, was very hard on Chad, because when he first started going through it, she was there for him. And Candace and Shannon have been really working together on a lot of different things, and she's really helped us meet so many people in and around SLO County, and just she was an amazing person. And now Josh is he's pulling up the reins, so to speak, and we love him, and he's going to be part of our family forever. And we look forward to doing more things with Josh. But
Well, Josh and Shannon is my nephew's mother and father-in-law. So, and she fought that for
20
years
plus
upon years, and she was so positive all the time.
Well, and then you can go into her lack of getting the right drugs, which we had a fight
This
for.
was a huge problem. And
So-
I don't know if very many people, even in the community, know how hard Shannon tried to fight for this. So she had one of 2 drugs that were approved for her type of cancer, because it was a newly diagnosed cancer. It wasn't the same cancer she had had beforehand. It was more of a lung cancer, but in all the places that her original breast cancer was. And so when she went to actually get the medication for it, she went to Stanford, showed up, and they denied her that day, and she had to go home. And then they said, not a problem. We're going to go ahead and go to UCSF. We'll get it going through. Insurance denied it again, and denied it a 3rd time. So she was actually never approved under insurance for the medication that she needed.
Oh my gosh.
Keeping in mind, this started in August. By October, she said, I'm tapping you in. Can I sign over a release so you can work on my case? And I said, absolutely, we need to now go to the drug companies. So I went to Amgen. I spent over 40 hours on the phone in a matter of 3 or 4 days arguing with people. And I just wouldn't take no for an answer. Now, the drug itself, the first initial drug process is $150,000. So we knew that that was going to be, we were going to do it regardless. But we knew that there is a compassionate care unit. So I just started going through all of the resources that we had, calling every single person I knew at Amgen to see who would actually push this through. And it sat in a holding pattern for 2 weeks. And finally I couldn't take it anymore, and I just really actually started screaming. Believe it or not, I do have an angry side, probably more so than anything. That was a Thursday night. I heard that she got approval, and I told her, and she was she was in the car ready to go to UCSF Friday morning. And then by Monday she got to go through the therapy, and I'll tell you, we were too late. Wasting August and September really set her back significantly. And then she wasn't actually treated until almost November. So that was a huge reason. And it was all because an insurance company decided to decline treatment for her, even though she failed the other option that was given to her, and it made her 10 times sicker.
Jeez.
And then we got to fly her home. So we were happy about that. She kept talking to us from day to day, saying, I'm going to go home. And I said, where are you going? Are you going into a rehab facility? No, I'm going home. I'm going to go home. She never once said she was going home to die. We all just believed Shannon was going to live on and on. She was going to fight it because that was her strength. And that's what she had done for 20 plus years. And we got her to fly home from UCSF, found a couple of people who donated their planes, picked her up, and took her home. And we feel like we could have fought harder for her early on. I wish she would have tapped me in August, but she was trying to do it herself, and she was afraid to ask for help until it really got to that point where she's like, okay, all hands on deck.
Yeah, it's just things like that just infuriate you, as you are somebody that has been on the other side of the fence fighting with the insurance, and then you have somebody like that has done everything that they could possibly do and still get that friction and resistance for medical needs that are needed.
Yeah. I think the cowardice of the whole entire process was that when the doctor from UCSF went to do a peer-to-peer, she wasn't even awarded a phone peer-to-peer. It was through a letter. So they wouldn't even give her the pleasure of getting on the phone to argue her case.
My goodness.
So what type of value did they put on Shannon's life at that point?
So you guys with SabesWings have went kind of above than what your foundation really is, helping patients financially through their, the toxicity, not the burden of what is already, but their medical bills and whatnot. But you guys are now kind of forming into, you have the research, you have the background, and now you guys have the voice and, relationships that you guys can make a big difference.
We hope so.
That's the game plan.
We really hope so. We feel like pebbles on the sand. Like there's which direction do you go? Because it's so broken. There's so many different issues that you could highlight. So we just have to stay our course and keep our values in place of what we want to achieve as far as goals.
So Brett, I know you had your kids' foundation, prior to the transition into SabesWings. You have a lot of kids and youth and, young families, Stacy and Cody being one of them, that are just starting off life, and they just get smacked in the head with this, this news that they can't afford things. And so looking at these kids, how do you, you said you get how many a month, requests?
$150,000 worth.
How does that get, you have a board, right? You guys have to discuss and talk about which ones, and it must be so hard to say you can't.
Our biggest thing in the very beginning was never turning down a patient.
Yeah.
And while we may touch every single one of them, we're not going to touch the magnitude of 150,000 per
Yeah,
month
we
unless
just-
we have significant support coming
Right.
in.
And that's where we want to be. We want to have that endowment that we can sit on. We want to have the ability to give 200 plus thousand a month to these recipients. Yes, we are able to touch when you have the issue and when you are in debt. We touch all of those recipients, but it's not the full amount that they need and that are asking for. So it's unfortunately right now we're not able to do that, but that's where we want to be 100%, and that's where it goes back to the 1985 campaign and a little bit here and there, and a little bit helps. The thing that I go back to is the little kid on the beach throwing the starfish in the ocean. I say fish or starfish, but one at a time, throwing them back in there. We're trying to make a difference with each and every one of that, and the older man comes by and says, "You can't save them all." It's like, nope, you can't, but we're going to make a difference wherever we can. So slowly but surely, we're gaining traction, and the more that we gain traction, and the more notoriety SabesWings gets as far as people asking for assistance, the more we need the funding. So, and we're terrible at asking for funding.
We'll just go make it on our own. I think we've always been self-sufficient that way, but we're at the point now where we're like, all right, we need the village.
Yeah, we need the village to help out. So, we do different events, such as the team roping coming up, which is going to be very cool. And our
Rope for
gala.
Hope.
Rope for Hope. Yes. The Coast Classic. But anyways, we're trying to do everything we can, and it's funny, we have our bags packed nonstop. We do so much traveling. We were just talking about that this
Our
morning.
dogs are just every time they see us
Where are you
getting
going?
our
They see the bag being packed, and it's like,
We're blessed with a really good dog sitter who loves our house, so we're happy about that and our dogs.
but we're trying to do what we can, and the more like you pushing us out a little bit here and there and coming on your show definitely helps. The more awareness, the more that people hear about us and what we're doing, they become passionate, because I think everybody is touched by cancer, whether it's you personally, whether it's a family member, or it's somebody close to you. It's like wildfire out there right now. Everybody's coming down with some type of cancer.
Well, I think 1985 is such a great opportunity and option for anybody. I mean, we grew up watching the commercials of, just, $1 a day, or,
for the animals.
everything helps. And you take, 1995 monthly and you spread that across the United States at, millions of people.
There you go.
Think about that.
Yeah. Then we're going to be able to help many more people in a stronger.
Brett, are you able to utilize your past platform through the athletics, through baseball, Major League Baseball? Are you able to utilize that as a little bit more, or do you just choose not to, or is there boundaries?
We are trying. We've butted heads with a few people, but we're going to get our name out there regardless whether they can help or not. We just keep pushing forward, and at some point in time, that would be an amazing feat to be part of the MLB alumni. One of the nonprofits. I mean, you look at the Jimmy V. People are given to cancer research like it's nobody's business, but all this money's going into research. What about all these families that need the help
In real time.
They don't need the research. They need it right now. They need that help, and they need that bill paid, and they need their medical treatments done. You're giving trillions of dollars every year to research, and there's a place for that. But if we could get SabesWings to that, it would help everybody around the country. It would be amazing. So I don't want to die to have to get to where the Jimmy V Foundation is with cancer research, but we want to be there at some point in time where we're making a huge difference with everybody.
And I don't want to sound like I'm morbid or anything like that, but do you think that in your lifetime you guys will get to that finish line?
We're here for such a short time. I just want to we're all here for just a short time, right? And you have to think realistically, what is your impact that you're going to leave? What's your legacy? I really hope that we see it.
Do you think we will see a change in cancer in our lifetime? Like we've come to that point to where there is a cure, there's a way to
You would
regress it?
You would think with AI just coming in and about that
answer.
maybe something. We hope. And again, like we said earlier, we hope that SabesWings isn't in existence anymore because people are being treated and have the ability to go in and get treated and have the financial resources that they need to go through their cancer treatments and that. So I mean, when you have people skipping treatments or not doing treatments at all because of the financial toxicity, and some people won't even do the treatments because they don't want to put their family in debt when they're gone. So it's
And you guys have
crazy
had
out there.
somebody like that, right?
We've had a couple of people that just don't want the help. It's like, you know what, I'm not going to put my family through that. So
That is such a
just
hard
live out the
decision
life,
already.
Yeah. So yeah, it really is.
If you were to take one element from SabesWings, what do you think the most proud you are of what you guys have done in the past?
Our donors. I mean, it's amazing when people really when they get to know us and what we're doing. It's and we want to have a relationship with all of our donors, and we do have a relationship with all of our donors. We stand on the red carpet before our event, our gala, and we try to say hello to everybody. If you're
And truly know them.
yeah, and know them, and we have so that's why we're going nonstop, and we keep in contact with just about everybody.
And they're all over the country. 60% of our donor base flies into us for this event for Paso, which we think is amazing that they would want to come here to support us. And then they go back to their pockets and really start creating a platform for us, which is nice. We love that, but it just makes us travel.
Because we really wouldn't exist without them. It wouldn't be feasible. So that's what I'm really proud of, is that how many people have stepped up to the plate, and there's pun intended in that. So what about you, Ben?
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think it's our donor base. I also think it's the relationships we make with all of our patients. It's hard, in particular for me, because I'm always thinking of all of the different phases of cancer or reoccurrence. But gosh, I'm so much better for knowing all of them. And I can sit in the weeds with them and just sit in their space and understand what they're going through. And if that's some solvency for them or a little bit of reprieve, then we've made a dent in what we're attempting to do. They're not alone.
And once again, you can go to your website,
SabesWings.org. Yes, find out about all the events, how you can donate. 1985 campaign, all the above. Yeah, we've got some really cool things coming up June 5th and 6th, right here in Paso. Our gala.
On October 10th and 11th.
And then we also, the firefighters from San Miguel down south in San Diego are putting on a golf tournament May 17th. So if you want to come out and join and support us down in San Diego, Temecula. Yes.
Temecula. And speaking of firefighters and police officers, a couple of different groups from across the state will do a variation of Movember no shave or sporadic mustache.
the mustache
Competition
event.
amongst different. So firemen and police officers in the state of California. Something very similar happens in Connecticut with another organization similar to ours. And we've just wanted to do this. We're hoping that it launches well, but more information will come out. There's just so many different things that we're doing right now for fundraising. It's hard to mention all of them, but the rodeo and the gala are the biggest.
Well, you can the passion shows through, with both of you guys, as far as how passionate you guys are about this. Of course, Candace, you've actually been through it. You've been through the fire, and the passion with SabesWings and what you guys are about with the foundation and the people that you want to help, and your goals to where you want to be. And sounds like you guys are just getting started.
We think so. I mean, I think back to how we even started the name, and that's a story in itself. Well, actually, you could share that.
It's Sabes is my nickname, and then the wings are the wings that lift these recipients up and families up, for that matter. So there's when Candace was going through her treatments, she was on the shower floor, exhausted, and she handed me a clump of hair and just crying and couldn't get up. Gave me the clump of hair, got rid of it, and had to pick her up off the shower floor because she wasn't strong enough to do that. So it's those wings that really lift these families and people up. We want to be a part of them. And
Brett was my wings. I don't call him Sabes. Everybody else does,
you
but
call me a lot of things, but we won't say them today, Randy.
that's not true. I call you Brett.
Babe,
Well, that's awesome.
honey.
Well, like I said, I appreciate you guys coming in and sharing some information with us. And, we're talking about your next event, which is June 5th and 6th,
Yep.
Yeah.
which is going to be out there at the San Marcos Ranch.
We hope
Yeah.
that you'll be out there joining us for some of the stuff that you're doing. And,
we'd be
keep it out
honored.
there. And hopefully John, Tracy, and Michelle can get on and talk a little bit more about the integral details of what's going on inside of that arena to get some excitement going on. But I think we live in an amazing area with the Western world, especially Cal Poly doing so well with their program there, and just so many cowboys in and around here. It's amazing. So we're feel very fortunate to have been asked to be a part of this. So look forward to this.
Well, we definitely live in a unique place in California.
It is. It's very eclectic.
Being that the Western way of life is,
Still
very,
relevant.
very rampant,
Yeah.
Love it.
and you see, the rodeos, you see the horse trailers, you see the ranchers, you see everything out there. And
I mean, the wine country, that's farming. That's you're doing a lot of farming in and around the area. Agriculture is
So
a big part of
proud.
it. Yeah.
I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
We're
Like we say, it's a great place to visit, but the population, we want to keep it right there.
it's closed to new homes. Can people go and get the registration for the Rope for Hope on
Absolutely.
SabesWings?
Yeah.
Yep, you'll
On your
see-
website?
you'll see it on there. Click the
for the rodeo aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
there's a link there, and it'll actually go over to the Central Coast, the Coast Classic website.
And then sponsors and everything,
Right on that.
everything's going to be right there on
Yeah.
the site.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you want to participate in it one
Please.
way or another,
Yep.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing you out there. We'll be there.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Thanks,
Well,
Randy.
Brett, Candace, thank you again so much. I love talking to you guys. I love the cowboy hat, Brett.
Thank you, sir.
Even though it's Candace's, but that's okay. We're gonna work
Hey,
on.
when you have this dome, you got to. Otherwise, the lights will be glaring too much.
That's okay. We're gonna work on getting yourself a cowboy hat before
There you
June
go.
5th and 6th.
Appreciate that, and Ryan Tannehill will be very happy that I'll have a nice cowboy hat.
Yeah.
He gives me crap about this one. Sorry, Ryan.
Very awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much, and I look forward to talking more because Candace, with the stem cell therapy, all that stuff. I mean, there's such a big rabbit hole we can jump down, and
Absolutely.
like I said, whatever we can do to help, get the word out. Our door's always open to you guys. So
Appreciate it.
Thank you
very
for
much.
everything
Thank
that you've
you.
done for Cindy's mom. Anyways, it's very touching.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
all those years. So
Thank you.
thank you again, guys.
All right.
Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys, and we definitely can't do this without you and our sponsors, and we'd like to thank Escalar Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, MGP Coatings, 1776 Roofing and Gutters, Premier Ag, Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Borjo and Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, and Templeton Heating and Air. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you out the Rope for Hope.
Yep, that's me. It didn't start this way. Most problems don't. They start with things you notice, but put off. You make a few small decisions. By the time everyone else notices, it's usually too late to call the right people. Experience matters. Call 1776 Roofing for gutters and filters done right.
When it comes to comfort, trust the team that's been keeping the North County homes cozy since 1995. At Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning, they're your hometown pros right here in Templeton. From tune-ups to repairs, remodels to new construction, even duct replacements and attic ventilation, they got you covered. Call your neighbors at 805-434-3741. Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning. Local, trusted, dependable.
Hi, I'm Glenn McWilliams.
And I'm Annie. As sixth-generation farmers, we understand what it takes to keep a ranch, a farm, and a community growing strong.
And that's why we started Premier Ag to bring quality feed, trusted Western wear, and real service to the Central Coast.
From hay delivery across the county to hands-on support for local youth and ag programs, we're proud to give back to the community that raised us.
And when we say from seed to stable, we mean it. We've walked the fields, we've fed the animals, and now we're here to serve families just like yours.
Come visit us at 1041 Paso Robles Street in Paso Robles and experience the difference of a store built by farmers for farmers.
From seed to store, where quality meets country.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Looking for a top quality concrete coating in SLO County? Hi, I'm Matt Gifford with MGP Coatings, your trusted local expert in durable, long-lasting concrete coatings backed by Pentec's limited lifetime warranty. Whether it's residential or commercial, we deliver expert craftsmanship, premium products, and unbeatable customer service. When we say we make concrete great again, we mean it. As a locally owned, community-driven company, we take pride in transforming garages, patios, pool decks, wineries, and even interior spaces into stunning, functional areas. Are you ready to upgrade your space? Give us a call at 805-952-5301. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or visit mattgiffordpainting.com. Join the MGP Coating family today.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We are all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.